I could tell you all about how dedicated Bookie was and how he was a force in this music scene, but instead I want to tell you about Bookie as a person. Bookie was a connector. If you needed a job in music, he would connect you with the president of Warner Music Canada. If you loved Swiss Chalet, he would cut out Swiss Chalet coupons and then introduce you to his favorite server. And if you were a young girl who had a crush on his best friend, then he would do his best to connect you with his best friend.
He wasn't really known to go traveling a lot or, even leave his house too much. He was a little bit of a homebody, but whenever a band came in or whenever you were traveling, you could mention any place in the whole world. And he'd be like, Sacramento, okay, corner of Main and 5th. There's a great diner, it's called Diamonds, go there, have the pastrami on rye. Or like he had all these magical memories and intersections and breakfast orders. He just knew everything about everything and could just, at the top of a hat, bring it out. And he just was such a wonderful and unique person, and I miss him a lot.
I remember back in the day, right when Indie 88 started, this must have been 10 years ago now, Bookie and I we lived in a similar area of the city. We were by the Much Music building, so we would always run into each other on the streetcar when we would have these announcer meetings every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. And every time I got on the streetcar and I would see Bookie, I just pictured him thinking in his head, oh my God, this idiot's gonna come sit next to me and bug me for the entire streetcar ride. But Bookie was always so nice and so gracious with his time, and he taught me so much, and it was amazing being a 23-year-old broadcaster brand new to Toronto, getting to pick the brain of one of the greatest interviewers of all time. So I don't know if I ever said it, but thank you, Bookie, for all the help with my career.
One thing I learned from Bookie is it's about family, I think. And something I'm going to carry into my future. He gave me a really hard time about being excited to take his shifts on the Jewish holidays. I'd get to fill in. And as much as I enjoy, working and getting some extra cash, he was like, you're not fasting on Yom Kippur. Your mom, what does your mom say about this? Being a bad Jew. So I'm trying to be a better Jew for Bookie.
Bookie was like, how did you get here? And I'm like, I took the bus, the Sherburne bus. And he was like, no. Why would you take the bus? That's unsafe. You shouldn't be taking a bus at midnight, especially not the Sherburne bus. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. And he's like, no, here's what you're gonna do. I'm gonna give you a $20 bill right now and you're gonna take a cab home when you leave at 5 a.m. Promise me that you'll use the $20 to take a cab home at 5 a.m. when you leave. And I was like, okay. And I did. And I remember thinking, what an amazingly kind thing to do for somebody else. And Bookie was one of those people that did things because he genuinely cared about other people.
Bookie was kind of the person who got out of most of those outside of work type things just because of his seniority, and he's been doing it for so long. But they made him do improv with everybody. And because I'm such a big fan of The Simpsons, I could tell what he was doing. He wasn't doing any improv at all. He would go up there, they'd give him a scene, and he would somehow shoehorn a Simpsons plot or episode into it, and everyone was like, wow, Bookie is so quick on his feet, this guy should be doing improv for a living. And I was like, he's just doing Simpsons episodes. But I love that so much just because it was so Bookie.
And he knew I was in love with one of his friends. I would be sitting there and Bookie would be on the phone, and the next thing I know, he'd say, oh, hold on, just talk to Josie. And he'd pretend to go to the printer to get something. Meanwhile, his friend was on the phone and he would be in the corner, snickering at me. And I had to talk to this guy on the phone. He did that often until I think the friend caught on. And then sure enough, the friend became my husband.
I want to be on the side of just championing things that I enjoy and things in life that I enjoy and trying to bring a smile to people's face. That just makes me happy, is when I can make you smile, I'm smiling inside, and that's the best feeling in the world.